Hello, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Quick reminder up top that I do have some of these prompts available as prints in my Etsy shop. That link will be below. And as always, thank you, my beautiful, wonderful patrons. Love you big. All right, let's get into the video. Hello, and
Hey,
welcome to
hunnies,
these.
Phoenix here.
Damn it. All right, take two. No, we need to get a clean intro because
It's my
we
time to
forgot.
shine and be screwed away.
Hello, and welcome to the Spiderlair. I'm Spider, of course, and on this channel we like to take a prompt and then make a character based off the prompt. And this week, you probably could have guessed, I have another guest. What can I can't help myself. I can't carry this show alone. I need the problem is, the reason I can't carry it all by myself, you ready? Is because I'm just so old. I'm just so old and brittle. I needed like a young, like a youthful energy to bring to the show to sort of, rekindle. Cool. Yeah. Funny,
where
handsome, yeah.
Handsome, funny, smart, intelligent, all-knowing, omnipotent.
Right.
Really, also just like a great guy in general, you know.
A 6-foot vertical leap, and dunk game on point, yeah.
Yeah.
And the drip. Oh, let's not even get started.
Oh my gosh.
This is my friend and talented artist, Finn. Finn, say an official hello for the populace, for the 60 viewers.
Hello.
That's what he sounds like. And on this channel, we also like to say our pronouns right up top. Mine are they, them. What are yours?
Mine are he, him.
Let's go. All right, so just diving right into this video. Our prompt this time was an uneasy alliance, because what better way to represent the friendship between me and this child?
Hey, I'm not a child. I'm a toddler. Okay, right. You know this.
Yeah.
It's very rude and inconsiderate of you.
He's baby New Year. Yeah.
Continue.
To my father time. When we were thinking of the prompts, I think the message you sent me was like, oh, yeah, we could do young and old because I'm shiny and new and you're basically dust.
Yeah. I think I said like, because I'm just like so new and fresh and you're basically withering away as we type.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, little pieces of me are just floating off.
It's
crumbling. And what a great segue into how I chose to represent this visual dynamic. We wanted to go with two opposing characters having some sort of companionship or making some sort of duo, but that would be extremely unlikely. And so I represented I thought there's a lot of great differentials that you could draw with these elemental type characters, where fire represents newness, burning out quickly but confidently, doing something bold, starting something, like a
Scorpios.
fire starter. Yeah. Being hotter. No. But then and then I wanted like the older character to represent kind of being more withdrawn, less confident, but only because, life has sort of chipped away at you a bit. When you're young, you're making decisions based off of what feels right because you don't have anything else to go off of. And then when you get older and more weathered and your edges get dulled, as it were, you're able to make decisions from more of a place of experience, what's worked for me in the past, sort of thing. So I wanted to really convey with these two characters a kind of lack of motive. You're not quite sure what either character has planned. And so I wanted their expressions to be a little bit, for the fire, I wanted everything to be out there. And I thought it was very fitting that I made the fire very quickly. Like, I was like, okay, this needs to be one really confident shape and then it's done. Everything you need to know from this character needs to be read, which I thought was harder. Needs to be read very simply and very quickly. So here's just this quick, confident shape. This kind of sly expression, but has their hand out. It was important to me that you could see their hand behind their back and that their fingers weren't crossed, as if to kind of just be like, here I am in the open. I literally can't hide anything. I'm translucent. But then again, you
I
look at their posture and you look at their confidence, you're like, what is this? Is this person sinister? And then for the character that you would assume is kind of taking the more meek position, the look on their face, it's sort of hard to read because is it worried? Is it anger? Is it, I wanted it to sort of be a little bit unreadable, but what was important was that both of the characters had hands the same size as their head, because I wanted that to be the focus for both, and something that they both shared is this
is that
idea
like a real
of action
thing?
and doing something together, like having their hands and their heads into it. And for opposing visual language of the wispy, confident shape of a fire, I wanted to do an overly ornate, overly decorated, way too many elements, weathered by time, has tattoos, has scars. So obviously, this character took a very long time versus the one confident, intuitive wisp that I made, because that one I was just going off of. I just want like a big swoop, I'm not thinking about it, and this was the shape that came out. Where this other character, every little detail was planned, and I messed around with like the tattoo placement for a very long time, and all the different elements, individual things to color. So I kind of just brought that all together into
Yeah.
this piece. And also, I love making hands, so I had a lot of fun with that.
Ooh, that's gonna be another dividing thing for us. I I'm not one of the people who is like physically can't draw
Mm-hmm.
hands. I just you will never find me drawing hands, you know?
Yep.
It's like I mean I do represent them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but like you're not getting line out of me. You could squeeze my toes together. You could hit me with a hammer like
Mm-hmm.
4 times and I wouldn't budge. I would be like, you know what? You get 4 scribbles.
Yep. Do you really
That's
need
like,
more than that, though? What is a hand? It's not a scribble. But no, I think that's interesting because I think it brings us to a broader point of a difference in. I think honestly, this might just be an age thing. Maybe it's a personality thing, but you're making decisions based on, you know, like, is it going to be fun for me? Do I want to do it?
mhm,
Where, somebody like me is more like, well, what's more important to me is what's the best decision, and that can be depend on a lot of logical factors, and whether I like to do it or not doesn't super factor into the things that I do and the decisions that I make. And this is funny because this is an indicative thing supposedly in astrology of earth signs, and I am an
ooh,
earth sign and you're a fire sign. So I thought that was another fun kind of dimorphic difference between both of us that I could sort of play with there. But
yeah,
yeah, because
I
I
like,
think our personalities would be different even if we didn't, like, it would be different in that way even if there wasn't like the big gap in like linear time. You know what I mean? Not that that didn't
yeah,
help. But
I I think it's kind of like amazing how accurate that those few past sentences were. Because like
Mhm.
most of the decisions I make are literally based off of like, am I gonna like this?
Right.
Like for example, in school,
Hmm.
like I'm not taking a lot of like AP classes, which are like college level classes in high school,
Hmm.
which are kind of like something people do to like, impress colleges or whatever
Yeah.
because of money and the college board, which is a scam and part of a satanic cult, I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me
Correct.
with that. Um, but I'm just like, what am I gonna do? Go into college for STEM? Yeah, I'm gonna be an engineer. Like, I
Right.
literally just like it does not. I just don't do them. And I mean, sure, it's gonna look worse in the long run, but like, I value like how I feel over
Right.
that,
Yep.
which is kind of like exactly what you just said.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a good place to make decisions from because and again, both have their strengths and weaknesses, but
Mhm.
just kind of wanted to pull all that together in this sort of the whole just showing you two opposing ends of a scale and
I think it
how the
looks
two
nice.
making some sort of pact together or like learning from each other could benefit from sort of taking some elements from the other, where if you're not getting an immediate gratification from it, you know there's reasons to leave if that's not happening, but there are also reasons to stay even if that's not happening. It just kind of It's the, like, again, the whole pendulum thing. I feel like I keep bringing that imagery back, but if it swings too far in either direction, I think it can be a little
Speaking of
detrimental.
pendulums, here
Yeah.
in
Good segue.
here in my little time lapse here,
Mm-hmm.
you can see one of my the first thing I drew was a clock. Second
Right.
thing I drew was a grandfather clock with a pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drew this kind of like big soldier warrior guy, and then a little rat kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I decided on this kind of like contrasting shapes of a triangle and a circle. The triangle being this sort of wide-legged stance lady,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of like old sagey wise guy or something.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, I went for this kind of like electronic. I did a little swoop to remind myself of kind of like a little like pumped up, sort of like sprightly young person who's like got a lot of energy. Like like look at those rollerblades. Those are not normal
Wear heelys to
rollerblades.
escape your feelies. Yeah.
Yeah, and then here is like in my second design, and I drew a zombie because I was like, I could go for the normal of like young is sprightly and like energetic, or I could go for the young is like old and decrepit and withering away and slow, which I thought kind of better suited it. So like I was gonna do like 7 of these,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was just like, you know what, forget it. I don't want
If
to
it
be
ain't
here for
broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
yeah. So like I did this little necromancer guy out of the old man, and I was
Perfect
like, you
out of the
know
gate.
what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have Mackie's strategy of just doing it right the first
One
time. Yeah.
one shot, one kill,
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
I
No scope 360.
and I just went with it. And
Mm-hmm.
but who knows? Maybe I could have come up with something better. I don't want to
Doubtful.
know because then I'll be sad. Um, but yeah, I just this is my first time really doing anything off of a prompt, let alone a character design, which is something I don't think I've ever done.
Yeah, see,
Uh,
this is why I didn't think I would ever actually get. I knew when I invited you, I thought it would be just like a hollow invite because I didn't think you would actually do it because you notoriously will not do prompts. You're just like, if I
yeah.
your reasoning is like, I don't want to. If the prompt doesn't sound good to you, you're like, I'm not gonna do
Mhm.
it. And so I was like, when I asked you about it, I was like, well, if you're still interested, you can make the prompt. And then you just happen to be in a place where you're like, no, I ran out of things to draw. I don't have any ideas. Just give me one.
Mhm.
And I was like, I know that me giving you a prompt is still not going to work, so I kind of had to like conversationally figure out a way for just you to make the prompt so that I know
Yeah.
you'd want to do it. And that's what happened.
The way
Yeah, yeah.
I set it up a little bit was like
Mm-hmm.
I just want any prompt
Mm-hmm.
because if I hear a prompt, my body will physically reject it and force me to come up with an idea that I
I
like.
love that.
And
I wish I made all my decisions that way.
like I was kind of like, yo, you decide the prompt, and then you were like,
And then I'll
well,
tell
you
you
should,
why I don't like it, and then I'll pick one I like.
and yeah, that was I was like, you know what, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it.
In my
And,
sage like wisdom, I had predicted that would be the
mhm,
case. So we
yeah,
just had
and
to start
so
somewhere. I think I started with Tide Pods. I was
oh
like, "You're
yeah, no,
young. What do young people like? Tide Pods?"
yeah, and I was like, you know what, young people, who are you to talk, old person?
There it is.
That's it.
We
That's
did
it.
it.
And so I was like, that's it. And I know I liked how this turned out. I kind of went in a little bit heavy with like triangle on this person, circle on that person, but
Mhm.
behind them is a circle, and behind this guy is a triangle.
Yes.
And I don't know. I was just pulling out all the all the tricks I had in the book that I really like. I was like, you know what? I may only do portraits, but gosh darn it, do I know how to render a sphere. And so, like, if for instance, like this abdomen here
Mhm.
on the zombie girl, I probably spent like an hour on that alone
It's
because I'm
great.
just like, I
Mhm.
just don't. I was like, I don't know the forms. Maybe it would look like that. And so
Yeah.
it was just a constant struggle and strife with this zombie lady here. But I think it turned out good, and I ended up making that hair right there. That's my favorite part of the
Mm-hmm.
entire thing.
Yeah, I
So
love
I
how you're
point that
bringing
out.
in you'll bring in circle accents to the triangle character and triangle accents to the circle character. It helps tie them together and it creates I feel like this shape language where like the same thing with mine. I just did it with like expression instead where you couldn't quite tell what either of them was up to because the language was telling you one thing, right? You've got this wispy, confident fire shape that was very dynamic and you're like yeah but their fingers aren't crossed and they're smiling, are they up to something, are they genuine, how like I don't know. Then you have this other character who they've got their legs all pushed together sort of like they don't and they're physically pushing
Oh,
their head away
notice.
from the handshake and they're nervously doing it but they've got this like look in their face that you can't quite read. It's like are they scared? Are they angry? What are they plotting? You know what I mean? And I feel the same when I look at your characters. It draws me in because I want to know, I want to see like a series about these people because
Mm.
I don't quite know what to think from the visual language, but not in a bad way because it looks like it's executed in a pro way where there's secrets that you're just going to have to tune in to figure out. Like that whole is the anti-hero that actually the hero? Like just because we're hearing it from their side of the story doesn't mean that they're
Mm.
necessarily good, you know what I mean? So I love that by looking at these characters you wouldn't it's giving you opposing shape language on like seemingly on purpose. I don't know if it's on purpose,
Yeah,
but
I just remember this, but like I really like hearing like how you interpret it
Mhm.
because doing this, I had created an entire story in my head,
Right.
and I made every single decision based off of like, okay, what would make sense in this story? Like,
Yeah.
for instance, like the eyebrows, like they're not going to be kind at like they're facing down. They're kind of a little bit like angry, but the mouth is not like baring teeth or anything. It's just kind of like indifferent.
Yeah.
And so kind of just like a perpetual state of anger, like no matter what. And that was because in my mind, at least,
Mhm.
this was like, like, I guess like a young girl who was on vacation or something and had gotten, I guess, shot in the head or something. Maybe
Mhm.
like a wine bottle that was perfectly sized flew through there.
Yeah.
Um, and this necromancer like revived her and was like, hey, come along with me and we'll go get that guy. And so she's like both the vindicator, but also like a servant to this guy,
Right.
but also like doing her own thing.
Mhm.
So, and I guess the mask on the necromancer is just kind of was me trying to say like you don't know what this guy's up to
Right.
because I don't know like
His
you
motives
don't
are
know
unclear.
why.
Mhm.
Yeah, uh why did he like save this person? Why did he bring her back to life, not anyone else?
Right.
And why does he have a little guy trapped in a bottle of his backpack?
It's a great backpack. It's going to be all
Yeah,
the rage you watch
yeah,
in New York. Just people are going to be walking down,
yeah.
Times Square.
He's got like a house with a steps and a chimney on
Yeah.
there. I was just
I like
having a
to think
heyday
he
with
he
that.
shrinks and can live in a little house on his bed. I think you accidentally made me. I have this whole thing where like I take my home wherever I am. Like I'm very good at like spreading out once I get somewhere. I'm just used to
Mhm,
being on unstable foundation and I just accepted that that's part of life and I embrace it now.
mhm,
I'm like, "Hey, anything can happen. That's a good thing." But wherever I am, I make it mine. I bring all my stuff with me. And I can kind of do that when I walk into a room or a place. I'm very in tune with like how to make an atmosphere mine or
mhm.
like or feel like I'm like when I the first time I get somewhere and introduce myself to people, I'm like, cool, what job can I do here to make myself vitally important to this operation because I need to feel like I have that I'm stationary to what's happening. Same with like drawing where I use it to help interpret the world around me. Uh
Mm.
and like you carry all of that with me, you know what I'm saying? So I just love this idea that I just see a lot of my own like traits in this like small necromancer man.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he literally carries the house on his back.
yeah.
He literally
Yes.
he's got a Necronomicon, he's got an
Uh-huh.
amulet.
Oh, and I love.
Some
Okay, here's the detail I love. Can I just talk about how many things I love about you?
yeah.
I love that he's got little fairy folk like flying around him, but she's got
Hmm.
the flies. Their visual things complement each other in such a unexpected way, but it's all there. Like they both have he has a clock above his head, and she's got a circle in hers that looks like a clock. I thought it was the clock at like when I very first saw it, and I was like, oh no, that's like a hole through her head, which she'd have to have like a bunch of fabric missing from her hat also
Yeah, I think that
to
that I
have the
was
hole
I
through,
thought
but I assume it's there too.
I
Yeah.
thought about it and I was like,
Okay.
you know what? I'm not gonna draw it because people might get the wrong idea. You see the
Yeah.
orange. It's like,
Hmm.
nah, it just maybe just the hat hasn't moved.
Well, yeah, no, that's it, right? Is that it blew a hole through the back of the hat too? It's perfect. See,
Hmm.
all ties together. I think it looks great. Here's our two pieces
I think yours
together.
looks nice too.
Thank you. I think we kind of knocked it out of the park. If
Oh
you want
yeah.
to see more amazing art that just blows your mind and is not based off of prompts, but is incredible portraiture that I sort of classify as like digital finger painting or like digital impressionism. Just
It's
perfect
it
color balance and blobs in hand of the artist and all that stuff. You got to check out Finn's stuff. Finn, where can they see it?
yeah, you can find me on Finn Gibby on Instagram. That's FINNGIBBY. Don't look into that. But yeah, no, I
You've
just
doxed yourself. No,
yeah.
his real name is Finnerick Gibbonson.
Yeah.
I'll put the link to that below too, so that just in case
Yeah.
people didn't make a fun little sing song in their head to remember your name.
Hmm.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should consider
I
that before
puke
you
on
make your own channel.
canvases for a living.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Finn
it.
Gibby channel win. Um, but yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
oh, are you gonna make a channel?
Well no, I was gonna say I had one when I was like
Oh,
in eighth grade.
oh, how do we find? We'll link that below too. Okay.
No.
Yeah, we'll link it. I'll find it. Don't worry. I'm pretty good at that. No. This is the part of the show where I normally like to you're not gonna believe this, but when things are at the end, right? I like to close it out and say goodbye to people. Do you want to do that
What?
with me?
Why would you do that?
It's just
Where
it's
are they
kind of
going?
I'm kind of quirky.
Where are they going? Are they leaving me or what's happening?
Well,
Why are they
I mean,
going?
all good things come to an end. That's all I got to say. And
Where
you'll learn that as you age. You
I
just don't
hope
know yet.
you're lying to me, Spider.
I would never. I would never. But yeah, let's go ahead and say goodbye.
What?